Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. We're high atop Mount Shasta. We're walking along, as a matter of fact. So if you hear me huffing and puffing, it's because the air is rather thin. This is the December tape. There's a part of me that almost doesn't want to speak, and so if it sounds a little whisperish-ish, it's because we're walking up to about, 10,000 feet or better. And this is, like I said, the December tape. It's the most beautiful winter day I've seen so far this year. It's unbelievably beautiful. The snow is that crisp sound. The colors up here are royal blues down to turquoise blues. The snow is just kind of glowing. Not a whole lot of people are up here. And the quiet, other than, birds and things, is astounding. This is our closeout tape for this particular series. And I wanted to go over all of the things that I could put together for the year. The beauty of all of the lessons that we've learned, the exciting times that we've had on the tapes. That's why I'm breathing hard, team. I must be getting up above that little air pocket. Another 100 feet, we'll be in great shape. I feel that I've kept the tapes fresh and alive. Like hiking up a mountain or doing an interview with a deity, or all of the little simple things that we've done together. Talk about God, which of course is my favorite. I just enjoy expressing feelings and insights about the divine. Whew. I'm going to take I don't want to take a break here. We want to keep going. We're getting pretty close. There's an outcropping up ahead that looks like we can easily climb up. I really want to do the tape. I don't want to be too distracted by hiking, but just giving you an idea of how much fun I've had with you. So I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts with you as we climb up this gorge, because I want to get the highest, clearest, beautifulest expression of Christmas for that Christ being that's inside of you. The birth. See, it's the energy that's happening on the planet. Whether the day is accurate or not, or the month, or the year, it's a time when everybody celebrates the birth of this being, this special essence. And so, because the consciousness of the planet is on that avenue, it's the one thing that we can all use during this Christmas season to plug into. There's this beauty of the new Christ energy within inside of you. Look at how you've grown in the last 12 months of the tape. Look at yourself, examine yourself, see how you've helped yourself, how you've grown. It's time to, at the end of the year, it's time to look back and see all the things that you've accomplished within yourself. And how even the things that weren't real positive still somehow are turning out within, It's always present time. And reflect on all of the things that your Christ consciousness has grown through within the last year, so that you can be celebrating its rebirth again this year, see? Because you're just going to, boom, shoot off into a higher level, another step. I'm sounding like I can hear myself puffing. The air's getting thinner, but we're just going to stay with this. I'm going to shut the tape off for a minute, and it'll just sound like I'm coming right back on. Now give me a chance to find a good spot out here on this ledge, so hold on. All right. Our view is now spectacular. So just view-wise, this is the most spectacular view for the tape series this year. We should be able to get something happening out of this. I'm just going to sort of perch myself down here on this little rock. Trying to get something to lean up against. All right. Thanks for taking the walk up with me. It's been a treat. We've kind of gotten off the beaten trail a little bit. Sort of left the skiers and all of the other people who occasionally wander through the woods. Just sort of got into a space where there's so many rocks they just can't quite get to. So we're just here. I want to thank you. I guess, the view here is spectacular, and all of a sudden you swell up with joy. I'll even unzip my coat here. And so much love. I feel very, very honored to have shared the material that I've shared with you over this last year. Because I'm just starting to talk again, I'm not quite sure what I said. That was, about 1,000 foot ago, so I'm just sort of starting over. Our growth, and that means your growth and mine and everybody else who shares in these tapes, has really helped the planet. It's sort of like when we reflect back, what is it that we have really done to serve ourselves and in retrospect serve the planet? And as we look back, we can see all of those little things that we worked on. The subtle little things. Even when we didn't feel like we were working on things, every now and then, boom, we'd catch ourselves doing something to support this divine avenue that was inside of us. A consciousness for somebody else, or a consciousness for something else, or a consciousness for an active event where you caught yourself doing something that was designed for the whole and a loving thing, and it really didn't matter, right or wrong, for anything. And you saw, wow, I remember this from this tape, and look, I just did this, and wow, this is exciting. And then when we get to look at this for a whole year, it's like, I've grown tremendously. And naturally, that's what each human being should do each year. But I've also noticed that I've grown in my expansiveness of Godness, besides the physical growth. And I've also observed that by making these tapes and by speaking on these tapes, that has helped me grow and allowed myself to become clear within the understanding of these things that I teach and talk about. I have found that by doing this tape series with you, I have grown in a way where I've caught myself doing things that until this tape series I might not have been aware of. And so I share this growth with you as a personality, and this is just sort of my reflection as a personality out to you as to the things that I've picked up. Because this is that time of the year when there's thanksgiving to be given and reflection to be looked at, and while you're in the moment, you're actually looking back a year to see all of those things, to bring all of those past tense actions into present time, to see your growth so that in this time of joyousness you can inspire yourself to be joyful. This is the time to sit back and look at the fruits of your labor. I mean, you've put in a whole year, and we can make it a year because we're just following the secular consciousness of the planet. And in this last year, you've done it. You put it out there. You grew. You grew within yourself, and growing within yourself has grown the planet. Growing yourself has put love out on the planet. News puts out a lot of the stuff that is spectacular enough to catch your eye. But there's also a lot of love going on out there that isn't as spectacular and isn't going to catch your eye. Because it takes a while for love to be seen. And so this love that you're learning to express within inside of yourself, we may not see it right now, instantaneously, on the planet. But I know that it's working to serve the whole. And I also know that the whole has a divine plan. And that as long as I am loving to myself and to my fellow selves, which is you and the planet, then regardless of the illusion of the destruction, there is also that illusion, for lack of a better word, of the creation, of the continuousness. The word Maya or Maya means the illusion. The illusions that one creates, and now I'm going to play with you. Merry Christmas, ho ho ho, it's present time. Good things and bad things, whether they're good and bad, right or wrong, are still only illusions. And so the destruction of the planet is an illusion, as the saving of the planet is an illusion. The thing that you must remember as an individual is that when you are loving yourself, you are loving the planet, and that lovingness is being used in the whole, whether it looks plus or minus. Don't get caught. Sometimes on the personality level, we look and we say, okay, I'd like to see some of my end results. And so what we do on this tape is we look back for a year and we see some end results. And then I say to you, but don't judge them, because those are all illusions anyhow. Because when I say they're illusions, what I mean is they're only part of the things that we can see. There are so many things there, but we really couldn't see them till maybe a year later, or a half a year later, or a quarter year later, when we had grown to enough of a space to see them. And so slowly our truths begin to grow. And what we couldn't have understood in the beginning of the year, we understand at the end of the year, because we have a broader spectrum of these things. And yet, we were willing to die, fight and die for some of the truths we had in the middle of some of these aspects or avenues. I'm now going to change the subject again, because as I finished parts of the material, I noticed that all of a sudden the words end and a picture begins, and I can't translate parts of the feelings, and so I just stop at that moment. And so what I also have observed is those little tiny feelings will come into the things that I'm saying as I change the subject material. This is one of them fun days. Now the reason that we're going to play like this is because this high up, energy keeps switching, and the stillness, the silence is awesome. It's one of those, we're high enough now where there are no thoughts, there are no people, there is nothing. And we're also in a pretty high spot. And because of the clarity and because of the snow and because of the electrical energies and all of the storms, this is what masters basically hang out for. This much pristineness, this much soundlessness, just the wind blowing, and so when you're up here, it's difficult to hold a thought while I'm saying these things to you, because what happens is you drift into an ethereal space just based on where it is that you're sitting. And the wind, and as soon as I say it, it picks up. You can even hear it. And it adds to the energy that's here. And so to hold subject material, I've begun to notice, is unique. So bear with me as I keep changing. It's not that I'm slipping. It's that the energy is so clear that maintaining a thought at this elevation is unique. I really never thought about that as we started walking up. I only walked up with the tape on for a part of the way, because we've really hiked. We've hiked a long distance. We're, let's get outrageous and say maybe 11,500 feet, where the wild goose flies. As I sit here, running through my mind, I can still hold the picture of looking back over the year, knowing that certain pictures could only be seen at certain times based on our growth alone. Using all of those pictures while I stay in present time to inspire myself in this moment to see the joy, and then as we experience and express intellectually that joy, get those feelings that kind of come up with it. And so a suggestion to you from me would be to take some time out, really, take like a half hour where you can just hang out. My best suggestion is go into the bathroom. If you have a tub, fill the tub with hot water. Kind of put some Epsom Salts in the water. Now, Epsom Salts is something that you can buy in any drugstore. What the Epsom Salts is going to do is, hey, forget what their directions are. Put a little more in than what they say. And the reason is that inside your body there are these electroplates. Okay? The Epsom salts fires up these electroplates and will give you a cosmic rush. You may not feel it physically, although it's going to activate your system electrically. Make the tub nice and warm so that you can be comfortable in it. Fill it up with some Epsom salts. They'll melt like rather quickly. It's going to soothe the body. Get yourself however many candles you think you need. There's two ways of doing this. One early in the morning, or one in the evening when you're still not too tired. Do you know what I mean? But yet, it's dark. And so then you do your candles, you do your Epsom salts in the water. You get yourself some flowers, or get some scented oil or scented candles don't quite work. Incense doesn't quite work. We're looking for something really fragrant here. Some dried rose petals perhaps would work. Some oils for those of you who mess around with scented oils where you have the candle underneath and then the scent goes off. Incense is a little too pungent. Get some real flowers. Get some strong smelling flowers. Or whatever works for you, whatever is going to bring a fragrance to your nostrils. And sometimes bath oils will do that. So if you get natural scented oils like frankincense or whatever turns you on, and you lift them or float them on the bath oil or on the bath water, that'll be perfect. You want to create kind of an atmosphere where you're going to soak for half an hour. You're going to have yourself some water there if you need to sip on some water. Be conscious. Glass is the best, but remember, glass in tubs is not real cool unless you're going to be conscious. So sometimes it's better to have plastic because you might get a little drifty, and that's what it's about. Have what is going to serve you lovingly within that bath space. And then slither into it gently. Give yourself, how long does your bath water stay hot? Figuring about 20 minutes, where you can really get in there. And then drift. Don't do supper yet. Do it before you eat so that the stomach is somewhat empty. The liquids that you're going to put in there, that's going to be fine. And relax. See? And then think about all of the things that you've grown and learned from on the physical dimension, but also on the subtle dimensions, so that you can get smells and get scents and get feelings. And the water and the heat is going to help amplify the feeling body. And so basically what you're going to do is you're going to stay in present time and take all of the records of the year that deal with your personal growth, with your divine growth, with your essence growth. And you're going to go through all of that and kind of breathe into it, kind of love yourself. Feel it. It's a sensual experience with feeling. It will be there for you to enjoy in present time and still recall all the great moments. It's just a fun thing. I wouldn't turn you on to something that isn't fun. Lighten up. Don't get too ceremonial with it, but get into it. I'm not taking a bath. I'm going to touch God through a warmth experience of loving my body. That's how you approach this. This is how it's approached. You want to get into it. You want to experience the year. Now, why am I getting so elaborate on all of this? Because I want you to see the joy that you may have overlooked throughout the year. Like sometimes we're so busy working on ourselves that it's not that we forget to take time to pat ourselves on our back, but we sort of sometimes just begin to expect that of ourselves, and we forget to take that time and really enjoy. And this is taking a bath or a hot shower if you don't have a tub or any of those things. That's sort of a system where the energy body is excited, and if you concentrate on it being a certain thing other than a bath, you can have a magnificent experience in the present time. You know, sort of a Christmas treat. And you get to see the joy that you've had that you forget sometimes to look at. Imagine the tub as a little time portal. You're going to do this little time travel thing, you know? Hey, get loose, you're God. Get some imagination out there. You're in a soothing water. You're in a soothing bath that was created by an elixir. It's got salt in it. It's going to do something to your electrical system. You're going to do a little time drift in the tub. And so it's basically a little time machine. Think you're in the womb. Do a little bit of that. You know, see what you've done in your lifetime. You know? And then if you're digging it, run some more hot water in there, you know? Sometimes I find that the body needs to take kind of a little breath. It might need that glass of water. And then it just might want to do another little 10-minute jaunt or something. You know, add some hot water to the tub. Have a cup of Epsom Salts, sit there to throw some more in, to get another charge in there. If that's what you're feeling like, enjoy yourself. Lighten up. You know, it's Christmas time. That's a Christmas cheer trick. And tricks are for kids. And I love you as that child. And so do this bath. You know, I don't care how long it took me on the tape to explain this. Do the bath. You want to know some of my special private tricks? These are them. And so this is my Christmas present to you. Because it's you know, hey, I really enjoyed sharing with you throughout this year. And so let's finish this year as in every moment goes by. Let's really take some time to enjoy ourselves. You know, as far as some of the scents, you know, you can go into these bathhouses that just, you know, truly take care of you for a bath. And there's, you know, like bubble baths. You know, do that another time. The Epsom salts is what you want for the electroplates, but that's where you would get this smelling good kind of stuff, you know. And then do it. Get out and fluff some good smelling powder on yourself when you're done. You know, something that says, hey, I've just had a wonderful experience. I've just had a wonderful, look at the joy that I am. Sometimes we forget about the divinity that we are when we're working so hard to get the joy. We forget sometimes just to look at the moments we had. And so this is what this one's all designed about. And now let's take off on something new, because this is one of those tapes where it's here, it's there, it's everywhere. You know, I've also heard really great rumors from all of you who have done the tapes with me for this year, and there's 150 of us that have done the tapes this year, and it's exciting for me. It's really exciting because that's 150 people who, you know, are doing it and spending the time once a month or whenever the tapes show up on your doorstep to get excited and to step in things. I guess I just want to take this moment right now to thank you and say, God, I love you for sharing with me and allowing me to share these great things, because you inspire me. It's like, wow, there's all these people who really care about what I say. And whether you can understand that or not, sometimes for me, that comes from every humble aspect that I have inside of myself. You know, we each have that part of our personality, and we each express ourselves certain ways in the world, and you all know how I've been. I express myself very uniquely in the world, and then I tell you that if I can do this, you can do this. And sometimes I see how much we grow together by the expression of the things that come up in the moment. When I make these tapes and when I hear people get back to me and they say that they've changed and things that I've done have really helped influence them to see who they were in their life, when I hear things like that, even though I'm a Leo and I'm very outgoing, inside I blush. Inside I bow my head in all humbleness, because it is so awesome to me to know that any one tiny little thing that I did helped a person see something inside of themselves that developed into them growing into another avenue. And when I hear people say they accredit me with this, that, or the other thing, it's like, the reason that if sometimes I don't acknowledge it is because I'm subtly embarrassed, because I never actually thought, and this is my truth, I never really feel that I help anybody. I just feel that I'm doing my best for myself, and that if people see a reflection in me that they like, and it grows them, I'm awestruck when people acknowledge that to me, because I never really think about anything coming back. I stay so in present time, and I say this from all truth, that I've really learned to stay in present time so much that I no longer even look to see rewards or see anything coming back to me, even in the form of lovingness. And so when people say nice things to me, I humbly blush inside, because there's a state of clarity that comes when we learn how to do all of these things, like teach these tapes and do these tapes. I'm sure that inside of all of you, you've noticed a humbleness, a subtleness, where all of a sudden somebody will say that it was something that you did that inspired them. You know what I mean? And like you're awestruck of that, because it's like, wow, really? I did? Really? And you can see how clear they are when they say that, and how humbly they say that to you, and that they're in present time when they say that to you, and you get that feeling back to yourself. You know, how many people have said something to you where you felt that little tiny bit of humbleness, where, wow, really, I've done that for you? Golly. And I want to acknowledge that in us, because I feel that when people say these tapes have helped them grow. And I know people say that to you, because I know that you get these tapes to grow, period, and do what happens in the tapes, and that you really take these tapes to heart. And so therefore, if it's happening to me, I know it's happening to you. Even if you don't see yourself practicing it, I know love returns back on itself. And I know that I put out love, and I know you put out love, and I know that those loves that we put out return back to ourselves. And I know that sometimes we do it with no conditions, and we're not trying to get anything back, and all of a sudden a magnificent thing comes back to us that, gosh, just kind of flatters us and humbles us and surprises us, and it's just so wonderful, you know. I just don't know what else to say. I just get humbled acknowledging these things within myself, and I'd like to acknowledge it in you, because I know it's happened to each and every one of you. And so as we hang out, you know, looking at this year, thank you for teaching me humbleness. Thank you for teaching me humbleness. Thank you for teaching me humbleness. Thank you. And now we'll jump over to the other side. Hey, it's just me again. Thank you for allowing me to reminisce this year. This is just sort of, I guess, that yearly thing. I've learned so much, and humbleness was the thing I wanted to share. While I was also standing up here, all of the essences that are up here with me at this elevation, I'm looking down at the snow, and the colors, the light. The light is magnificent. It's sparkling, the colors of the rainbow in each one of the snowflakes. It's spectacular up here. It's light. And that's one of the things that we need to be doing this Christmas season, is being the light, which also means staying the light. Don't buy into all of the Christmas heaviness that consciousness that is out there produces.